Good morning, everyone. Hope you can hear me. Can someone confirm once? Can you hear me? Good morning, Mani. Okay, Deepak, good morning. Can you ask others to join? Is there any network related issues? Good morning, Prachi. Let me switch to another internet. Maybe you may face 1 minute issues, 30 minutes. Let me switch 1 minute. Good morning, Prachi. Can you ask others to join quickly so that we can initiate? Simrajpur, good morning. Where are others? Good morning, Nishant. Morning, Rohit. Yoginder ji, good morning. Can someone ask Lokender also? He also can participate even from mobile itself. Even he can utilize the time. Good morning, Thakur King. Let me quickly share my screen so that we can initiate today's work. Good morning, Mohit. Very sweet. Subham, I can see. Okay, meanwhile, let's connect. Maybe others can join meantime. So yesterday we talked about data import, export, import utility. So have you tried the same thing at your end? Good morning, Aswani. Have you done that activity? Yesterday we tried to cover most of the items. Okay, one more thing. Where is Koti? Koti is not joining. Sometimes Koti was here. Let me share my screen meantime. Are you able to see my screen? So yesterday we covered data import export. So we try to import two files. One for file we have exported and we have copy paste all those information and we try to import it. due to some other system process, it was taking some additional time. But anyhow, when I checked today, so it was completed. So you can see here those two tasks yesterday, the status was submitted. But when we seen here, it was uh, earlier showing submitted, now it is showing completed. So here we can see all those information. This request was created on here 11:20 a.m. Finished time is not showing. Okay, so here we can check how many record be those record are failed, how many record are successfully created here. So those four record here we can see Rohan, Mohan, and Rohit. Why those four records are showing here as created? Let me add here those email ID and phone number. Email and mobile. Let me remove it. Edit. So here you can see Rohan and Rohan. This mobile number is exactly same with this mobile number. Why it is created? Even we have created one duplicate detection rule. You remember here we have disabled those two duplicate detection rule. If we want to check those duplicate detection rule, even you can see here mobile and email, it is showing unpublished status. And unpublished means if we have published it, it will here uh, you know uh, maybe it will show some issues here, you cannot insert, or those record may be fail in the system. So be disabled that one. That's why we are not able to see that logic applied here. We do this activity. So here, meanwhile, we done import export, and here if you want to change something, like suppose I want to perform some bulk edit option here, so I can export it into Excel. I can perform that logic and I can even save directly in the uh, our environment. Here we have changed something in the Excel and we have imported back into the system. So what happens? Suppose if we try to see those files, whatever we have imported yesterday. Where is that file? In the download section. So this one we have imported. So what I'm trying to showcase, if you have exported that data, you try to change some data from here, and then you want to upload it again. So what happened? Those record, how system would know like those record we have to create or we have to update here. So here you can see the downloaded file. Here we can see the name in D column. So what happen in the system? System will create some file here, and it will store some, some hidden field. So I just want to showcase what types of information it is having. So what happened? There are three column A, B, and C. Those are hidden. So suppose if I want to export it, so it will upload the data based on this lead GUID. So if this lead GUID is having data, it means it will try to upload or update that data based on this GUID. So this is the unique identifier. If you want to create some data, so you can even create add those information here. So it will treat that record as new because this GUID field is not there. So what happen if you want to delete those three fields and try to import it? So those field will treat as a new record for the system. So suppose if you want to change something here, so row checksum, so there is another field here, row checksum. So what it mean here? And there is one more field here, modified on. So based on this modified on date, so it will create a unique number here based on the identification. So what it will check? It will check if based on this last modified on date, if system updated any field related to those one, so system may be override those information. So it will consider this particular field to validate if this particular record is modified after this particular date or not, date and time. So those three fields for internal calculation, so that that data integrity should be maintained across all the users, all the data, and you should not overwrite any existing data here. So Microsoft already take care everything, but you need to just take care whatever we are able to see those field. No need to modify the existing those three field information. This is just for your information that I'm trying to explain you. Hope it's clear for everyone. Can you hear me? Morning, Pulkit. Hope it's clear, or you want me to explain one more time if you have any doubt. Mani, Pulkit, Mohit, Vikas, Subham, I may ask you such types of query questions maybe in our demo questions, maybe when we have question answer session. Because if we are investing our time here, so you should understand it is not like you can join and you have to uh, just listen whatever I am saying. So Mani, what is your query here? Like suppose uh, you are not able to understand like how we are importing or what is the purpose of those fields, or you want me to explain me from beginning. See, suppose if I have exported one excel file from here. Suppose I'm going to create a template. So how to create a template, I already told you. For template for what? Suppose if I'm going to create a new file, like yesterday we created this file. So system should, because system, even if we try to import this particular file, we can import this file as well. But to map this particular file, we have to do manual field level mapping, like which particular entity we want to import it, which particular field we want to map this name field, mobile field, and email field. So why? Because if uh, system, like any application, if we have given some predefined format, predefined architecture, like I'm going to tell you something here. Suppose if I'm going to export the template from CRM, template for data import. So if we are asking CRM, hey, can you give me template? So at least if application is giving any template, so that system would understand like this particular template is designed for which specific entity. That's the reason we are exporting the template from CRM. Otherwise, anyone can create their own template. If we are creating our own template, like I may ask money, like, hey, can you create a template for lead? Then you can create a different template. Okay, the purpose of fields, which fields you mean to say? You are asking for those three fields: modified, checksum, and modified on. You want to understand those three fields, right? I hope you are asking for those three fields. Yeah, checksum. Okay, the checksum field. Okay, if you want more information related to the checksum, uh, it will take some time to understand this one, but this is just for internal calculation purpose. See, suppose, okay, let me just give, if even if you want to get more information related to the checksum. So if I can see two three members here who already implemented CRM or any payment gateway integration, so they are asking for some checksum fields information. So what they are doing, they are encrypting some information in a field based on their internal algorithm. Okay, I will tell you what is this particular row checksum in import and export utility in D365 CRM CE. So it will explain you very clearly. A row checksum is a unique hash value calculated based on the data in a row record. It asks like the fingerprint of that record at the specific point of time. So detect if the record has modified since export, prevent overridden newer data, support data integrated during the updates. Okay, I will tell you one more thing. Even if you want to get more information here, so even you can get all those information from here. You can do similar types of work. So suppose I will tell you. Uh, Suppose maybe this is very important information for you. Why checksums comes into the picture? Suppose I want to update some information from here. Suppose I'm going to export it. Export into Excel. I have exported it. Okay. So I can see all those information, whatever I can see here. Okay. So here, whatever you have exported, everything, every information, let me close it first because we have exported latest data. So whatever I can see, everything I can see here as well. Rohan, Mohan, Rohit, Rohan, Mohan, Rohit, and all information, first name, last name, status, and everything. Whatever we have, mobile number and all. And I want to change this topic name like test 2, test 3, test 4, test 5. Only you need to change this one, and you want to change this status like whatever here, cannot contacted, and maybe you want to change some you want to change those information. And even if I want to change this email ID, maybe this is for Mohan 231, and here you have changed something here in the Excel and you have saved it. Meantime, because this is uh, this particular application exposed to internet, maybe as a current logged in user I am working here, maybe at the same time another representative they open this particular record, so they have seen, they contacted directly here, so they have seen, oh, this topic is not here, so they updated, like maybe this information, deep title, this, all those information they have manually updated. Okay, so now what happen if, so this record someone updated, someone else, not mine, because I'm working here in the bulk upload, but I have updated that same record, whatever I'm going to upload into the Excel. Someone else also uploaded here. So what happened if I'm trying to import it here? So what do you think? This particular record should be updated or not? Because this field, this record is updated by someone else, and this record is updated. So if I'm trying to import it, because I have exported that data before updating this record, so maybe I may have old data to update here. So this is not recommended. So this particular record, if one person is updated, so suppose if I'm going to import it back, so this particular information, like it is not like it will check, like uh, I will tell you next. So what happen if I'm trying to upload it, that uploaded Excel file, so it will check like this particular modified on record. So they have created a checksum like the previous value or current value based on the modified on date. It is taking some additional configured value in the checksum field so that it can validate if that record should be updated or not. So that information, that checksum will take care. I hope it's clear now. So first field, three fields. First field is for identifying if that record value is there. The record GUID is there. It means we have to update it. If record GUID is not there, we have to create that record to identify. Obviously, uh, anyone, it is not like you don't have create or update option in this particular entity, you cannot do that one. If you have a read only access, you cannot import that data. Import export utility, if you want to get that one, you should have that admin permission here so that you can perform. Even if you have read, write, and create permission, even you can do that particular import export utility here itself. You can even, if you have user level permission for creating, updating, and reading that record, so you can perform that action at your data only. That is already handled. Hope it's clear for everyone. Any other query or question you have related to import export utility? This is very important information that you should have, because if I want to ask you to do import export data from one environment to another environment, the same thing you have to perform. If I ask you, suppose, hey, we have 10,000 lead sample record in my Excel. So can you import it in new trial environment? So you should understand how to import it. If it is failing, how to resolve those particular issues. So all those information you should understand. Here you can see, now it is showing, earlier it is showing submitted, now it is parsing. Let's see what will happen. Transforming, it is performing some action. So you need not to worry about this particular data. So sometimes if we may have 10 lakh record, we may have 50 lakh record. So even you can utilize this utility as well. Even you can create one console based application as well. You can read some data from one environment to, and you can transform that data, and you can even map that data into another one, and then you can run that application and it will automatically handle. No need to perform. So see here, because I have changed one record from UI itself, and then I have uploaded. So that particular record, let's see how it's considered. State code is invalid. So I have changed to record here. So we here you can. I just want to showcase this particular information here. So how it looks like for that failure record. So what is this saying? You cannot import data to this record because the record was updated in dynamic CRM after it was exported. So how it's considered, like how it is identifying based on the checksum record only. So you cannot modify it if one record is directly updated in dynamic CRM, even if you have exported that data and someone modified that information. Even if you try to perform this action, maybe for some different data types, some different information. Suppose if I'm going to import a record, maybe I'm trying to map one field in the lookup field which are not available in dynamic CRM, it will fail. Even if I'm try to map one field with the help of name field, but with name we have more than one record, then that particular record may be failed if it is required, because information, if we try to resolve that information, it is showing more than one record. That's why that record may be failed. How to resolve those issues? So it required a unique identifier instead of name. If you are providing record GUID and you are mapping uh, name, instead of name you can map record GUID as well while importing the record. If you have to perform that action with more data, you can export it, you can do some practice at your end, and maybe we can discuss different types of data, whatever we are getting and you are facing those issues, and you can resolve those issues. I hope it's clear for everyone how it looks like, how Microsoft deal those types of query here. I already showcased this particular scenario, money. Like it is showing like this particular record is modified after you import it. So that's why it is not allow you to modify that record in Dynamics CRM. So related to the interview questions for junior developers, you should have basic understanding. Like if you have 1 year of experience, maybe the different types of or data, that question maybe you may they may ask. related to the very basic one. It totally depends, like interviewer to interviewer, like based on your JD, what types of expectations they are looking from your side. Maybe if you are very fresher, they may ask you different types of your queries, related to the basic understanding, related to the SQL, related to the dynamic CRM architecture, related to the dynamic CRM basic understanding, at least the functionally side. It could be, I'm not sure, based on the JD. Maybe if I'm taking very junior level resource interview, so based on his experience, maybe I may have different set of interviews question. It is not like, even you can go through multiple different channels and you can get all those information. Maybe I have one set of questions, maybe I can share with you guys. Maybe I can create one post uh, in my YouTube channel. Maybe you can go through all those interview questions. Maybe now in a day you can get all those information from the internet, but I can publish whatever I have. Okay, let's quickly wrap up today. We already completed 30 minutes. So here, let's at least complete some import export data. So let me try to showcase some information, whatever I have. Okay, so we already covered import export data, utility, bring data. So core ecosystem capability, here we have with the help of the integration from legacy system and external database into the database. Take data out, advanced extraction for reporting, BI analytics, and compiles audits. Maintain continuity, ensuring data integrity across multiple platforms during updates and the migration. Okay. So what is the benefit here whenever we are utilizing this particular import export utility? Suppose we have developed uh, one features here. One features means, suppose there is a sales process, they are utilizing their .NET based application. Now they want to migrate, or they want to implement any .NET based application, whatever they are utilizing as of now, but they have their database in SQL or maybe another backend, and we try to move all those data into the new system, because they may try to use new system now. So we have to extract all the required data, maybe in Excel format, whatever I have shared with you. We can create a template and we can add all those data into that template, and we can import it. That is the one option. We can utilize this data import export utility. Another option, we have multiple another option, but today we will talk about this data import export utility. So bring data from one another environment, like legacy system, to our and other external database into the database. We can utilize this capability. Take data out. So suppose if we want to extract some data from the database, we want to, you know, prepare, we want to develop, we want to design some different types of stats, maybe in Excel or maybe in any other one. So we can utilize this database, that export utility. So ensuring, suppose if we want to upgrade our system, we want to migrate some data, so even we can utilize this data import export utility. That is the use of this data, import export features, whatever Microsoft is giving. Data migration. How data migration works here? Suppose when we have to do this data migration, they may have their legacy system, you understand. Maybe they may develop their .NET based application, they may develop their python based application, maybe anything if they are utilizing, and now they want to use dynamic CRM application. So we have to get all the historical data. Historical data means whatever they are utilizing, maybe last 2 year data, 3 year data, 6 year data, 10 year data, maybe whatever they are having their backend. SQL, MySQL, MongoDB, anything. We have to extract that data. We have to add all those data into the our template, and we can import it into Dynamics here. That is the data migration activity. But what is the uniqueness we have to add here? That might be the different strategy we may have. So how we have to do, I already showcased that migration activity, but you should understand when we have to utilize this data migration utility. Sometimes we have that level of requirement, like, hey, we need a data migration expert. So, to become a data migration expert, you should understand this default dynamic CRM capability. So, this is data migration activity that I have showcased. This is not a big thing. Maybe this is out of the box capability. I already showcase you. Maybe there are many other software available to perform similar activity. That is called Kingsway Soft. That is also a data migration utility, but that is the separate utility we have. We have more capability in that one. We have more other out of the box connectors available. You have to directly plug in play. You have to map, you have to extract data from one entity, you have to transform that data, you have to map that field, and you have to move that data directly. So you have to create those packages in Kingspace, or maybe Scribe tools. We can utilize similar things, similar activity for similar performance, similar activity we can use. Similarly, we have SSIS package, not SSRS. SSRS is different. SSIS package is different. SSIS package is Microsoft SQL default capability. We can create some SSIS package, and we can move those data from one SQL based environment to dynamic CRM application directly. So that is the capability we are exploring here as part of data migration task. I hope you understand. Now comes into next slide. I'm not telling, like, if I'm explaining you, you may become a data migration expert, but at least you should understand initially what is data migration capability. What is data? So if someone asks you, hey, we want a data migration expert, we have to do some data migration task. So at least you should understand, hey, oh, this is the data migration. Understand what to do: extract data into templates, prepare proper template, import into Dataverse, resolve the issues. That's it. Nothing special. No need to worry about that one. Just try to use some specific pattern and go through all those patterns, read properly, resolve those issues. It's very important. Whatever issues you are facing, resolve one by one. You have to resolve all the issues so that data integrity should be there. It is not like we have 50,000 records. 45,000 records successfully imported. Do you think 5,000 is not required because there are so many issues? I'm not sure how to resolve. Leave it. Any single record is very important to migrate that data. So data migration activity, if you have to perform, you have to prepare a data migration strategy. How to validate data, like in their existing system, if one table, one entity is having 50,000 record, it should have similar counts in the migrated environment or the target environment also. So you should understand, you have to prepare a proper data migration strategy, then your data migration successfully you can complete with less pain. Pain should be there. Pain for anything. If you are driving or you are doing any activity, you may face different types of pain. Maybe every project we may have different types of issues. You have to resolve those issues, and you have to learn project by project. I cannot explain you everything in a single, 1 hour or 2 hour session. You have to perform that activity, then you have to learn. You have to, spend your time, and then you have to learn from yourself. But I can give you a base where you can initiate. That I can help you, but I cannot give, everything from this 1 hour or 2 hour session. But I can give you a base, and you have to pitch from there. Import wizard. I have showcased this import wizard. Data flow, Power Query, enterprise upgrade solution, large scale migration support, ETL transparency, development barriers, source. Even in data import utility, even some of the environment, if you have, like suppose if I have a SQL database, I can create a SQL query, I can export that data into my specific template. I can use my query to export the data directly. And even there are some, I already told you, Scribe Online, maybe Kingspace, or they may have some option like I can write some query, either it could be a SQL query. If you are utilizing any different types of, source system, you have to write query based on that environment only. So Power Query also we can utilize. Exporting intelligence, extracting data from Dataverse to empower business reporting, data warehouse, and archiving compliance. So suppose if you want to clean up something, suppose I have very big data, that data is not required now. Why you are keeping that data into your application? So you can export that data and you can archive that data. Suppose if one person is having, like, in our system we have to keep our invoicing only last 5 financial year. Don't store data in before 5 year financial year. Even some of the company, they are storing 3 year financial data, and they are showing even in the history level itself, and they are writing one message. If you want to get data more than 3 year, that it will take 1 year, 1 day, 2 day, maybe working day time to get that information. So they may store that information maybe other system. Why other system are needed here? To improve our application performance, we have to do archival policy. To even to save the costing. If we have more space, we have to pay more. If we are consuming less space, we have to pay less. So we have to keep our system in such a manner so that our cost will be saved and our application performance also increase. I hope it's understandable. So, to clean up our system, also we can utilize export utility as well. Model, extraction part. So, how to perform this particular data? Even, sometimes now we have to export some data, maybe based on some other capability as well. We can utilize some API. We can, use those API. We can retrieve that data, and maybe we can export that data, and maybe we can export some data. We can read that data, and we can import into the dynamic CRM as well. That capability also we have in our application as well. Like suppose there is one capability I have showcased. There is another capability, Azure Synapse Links. So we can even read some data from one environment, and we can create or update data based on the API system as well. So that is also, one features we have in our dynamic channel. So security and governance. So suppose data movement is governed by role-based permission and field-level security. Every bulk import and export event is logged for audit compliance and GDPR requirement. So what happens, suppose if you have to export something, so that there is some information like who is exporting, what is exporting. It is not like, suppose if I will give you one example. If you are working for a policy or maybe any insurance domain, so whatever they are having their database. If that database is there, And if that data is not secure, then maybe one person, they can misuse that data, they can sell out that data, like, hey, those types of policy are expiring, maybe for their competitor they can sell that data. So it's very difficult to, sometimes to save their data, because their data is their business only. So we can control that information with the help of this security role and governance. So ensuring data integrity. So mandatory checks here, functionality and business. So these types of duplicate detection, lookup validation, type enforcement, we can do that level of information here. Maybe you can, go through all those information here. So mandatory checks, like if suppose if one information is required, without that information, that you cannot create that data. So that level of, prevention check you can do with the help of this import export utility. Duplicate detection, we already discussed that one. Lookup validation, like suppose if you have to set some value, maybe from contact level, and that contact is all not there. Suppose you want to set my name Sunil Kumar as a contact, but there is no record created in contact with my name. So you cannot create that record till the times you have a proper valid record in the contact entity. So that level of validation you can, this import export utility will already taken care. Suppose if type enforcement, suppose if there is a value in your Excel sheet, suppose you have data type as currency or maybe date and time, you cannot import or you cannot add that information, like it is a string or there is any different types of data you are storing. So that data types of validation, it is already taken care. Real world business scenario, suppose what to do here. I will give you one example: sales pipeline, importing lead from marketing tools for, immediate follow up. So suppose you are using any third party tools like Mailchimp. So you are getting a number of lead, and maybe you can export all those lead and you can import into dynamic CRM for, salesperson. They can utilize, they can follow up any different types of calls with the help of leads. Similarly, service migration, maybe they may have different data types in their legacy system. You can, use any support case whatever you have in another environment, maybe for historical, to maintain the historical, case management, you can import that data. Maybe leadership KPI, they are checking different types of data based on sales performance. So maybe how many leads one sales representative completed in this last quarter, how many different information they have completed from the other environment. So that level of information maybe you can utilize. Even you can use different types of reporting as well as part of this particular part. Business validation, realistic report, high quality data leads for recurring forecasting, secure movement. Yeah, this is the. I hope you understand related to the data import export utility. Any questions you have added here? How to perform data migration using regular import export from Excel? I already showcase many exported record in multi middle someone update. Will you teach SSIS? Yeah, yeah, will, but I need to set up, some package. I cannot, suppose if I need to, showcase how to set up SSIS package, I need to, create one SSIS package. Well, will tell you like how to set up that one. To join late today, no problem. What is the order of validation? Like which types of validation you are asking? Order of validation. Order of validation means I didn't understand you. Okay, so let's cover quickly. The data migration, that import export, we already covered, but let me showcase commands bar and Copilot's prompts. What is the use of that one? We can quickly wrap up. I will not cover the entire in detail related information for this part, but at least you should understand, what types of information we can utilize with the help of this command bar. Give me a moment. I think some power cut issue is here. Why my charger is not working? 1 minute. Okay. Hope you are able to see my screen. You are able to see my screen. Yeah, front end and back end. Obviously, front end and validation is like if you have written your logic in JavaScript, and even in the JavaScript, if you have written synchronous or asynchronous code. So it totally depends. Obviously, back end logic, back end validation, it will comes, last, like server side validation. If you have written first, client side scripting or client side validation will comes into the picture, and then server side comes into the picture. Okay, so modules, here we have system integration. Like, what is command bar? The core action and control layer provide structured, rule-driven tools, execution standard, and custom business operation efficiently. Copilot agent, the intelligence layer, and embedded AI assistant using natural language processing to summarize data and recommend next best action. What it mean? Command bar. Okay, I will tell you. Suppose you have seen a number of action here. Suppose in command bar you have seen a number of buttons, whatever available in this command bar. Here you have save, save and next, new, delete, different types of option you may have here. Even we can create our custom, button, and we can perform some custom logic. Whatever, logic we have written in the code levels, that action only we have to perform, right? That is the fixed logic whatever we are doing. Maybe there might be some dynamic logic, like suppose if we have written our logic in such a manner, like, oh, based on this option set value, maybe we have added some different if else condition inside the logic. But whatever we have written, that we have to perform if we have clicked that particular action. So that is fixed. Like suppose in .NET based application, I have created one button like, hey, submit and delete. Maybe clear all the option set value or clear all the form level fields value. So that button click event, I have written some specific logic that has to perform on click of that particular button. Similarly, we have all those, predefined logic written in those buttons. So that we are covering here in the command bar. Understood? But in the Copilot agent level, if we want such action, like based on my user input, suppose if I'm asking something, that is called prompt based, actions. Suppose now in a day you are utilizing different types of, action in based on different prompts. You are asking something like, hey, we have to summarize this particular email history. So maybe you can give that level of one prompt, and you can ask your input query, and based on your input the output should be display here. If you want that level of option, you can utilize this Copilot agent features or capability in the natural language processing, which is developed or designed in a AI embedded AI assistant. Understood? Okay, let's cover in next maybe screen. Here, I already explained you action and command layer. Here, universal access control, top page, listing view, record, maybe in the forms level, subgrid level, we have n number of actions, whatever designed here. But even if you have to write something AI based, some action, so you can perform some action in AI driven some tools. That is called here AI assistant, conversation based, AI driven. So you can utilize prompt based some action here in AI based those actions. So there is two types of that action we have: command var and copilot based. Go to the next here. So command based, what types of action here? Even if we have to utilize standard action, out of the box system functions, new, save, assign, share, export, that custom action, business specific logic, like trigger a flow, call API, approve, qualify, disqualify. There might be n number of button we are designing in the command bar that we are doing normally. Contextual var, specific data location, grid level, form level, subgrid level, home level, whatever we are having, we can perform our logic maybe in different position as well. That is the command var functionality. So Copilot based, intelligence system, whatever we have here. So generated intelligence here. Copilot acts as a context aware partner embedded within the dynamic CRM, transforming how users interpret and generate data. Real-time active summarization, activity summarization. So suppose if we want to summarize something in based on the real time, we can utilize this particular Copilot features. Intelligent contextual drafting. Suppose if we have to utilize this AI summary to generate a response whatever we have received here. So we can create a draft email, and maybe our agent can review that one based on agent requirement. Even they want to change something, they can change, and they can send a proper drafted email. In that one, we can save even the agent time. Predictive next step, maybe based on our models, we can define next step of that particular action. We can achieve that level of requirement with the help of this AI tools. So here key copilot capability here, summarization. It could have capability to summarize the content, like instant summarization of customer history, complex case, and the opportunity notes. So suppose I will give you one example, complex case. Suppose there is a case, maybe some escalation case, that is a court case maybe. To complete a court case, suppose court case, what types of court case? Suppose there is a policy holder, one policy holders, there is a claim for maybe uh, 50 lakh, 60 lakh claim, but company declined that particular claim. So candidate decided to go to the court. So there are maybe n number of different sessions, there are n number of different level of communication related to that particular case. So it's very difficult to read the historical email communication related to that particular case. So we can utilize this particular summarization so that we can have 200 character summarization, 300 character summarization. Candidate, suppose a new candidates or new agents working into this particular summary, and so that it's very difficult to read the entire conversation, we can utilize that summary so that we can save our time. And agent can understand, oh, this particular issue is related to this one. Oh, okay, I understand now. Next course of action related to this particular case. Similarly, suppose if there is a long running issues related to our Microsoft Dynamic issues. Suppose we have created one issue or a ticket with Microsoft. Microsoft is giving a numbers of thread related to that query, and they are asking different level of logs from our system. They have connected to the customer. They have gathered all those information. Again, they have shared some specific steps so that we need those information. Maybe that particular conversation is very low. Suppose a new represented this particular case is tagged or maybe moved to the different regions. So what happened that newly received this particular, because a new users comes into the pictures, he don't have proper summary of that particular case. So it's very difficult to get all those information within a short times of span. So in that case, this summarization part comes into the picture. Drafting, I already showcased, like suppose user need to send one reply of that coming email. So we can utilize these draft features with the help of UI capability, this AI capability. Query, natural language, we can ask some, questions based on the query. Like suppose if I want to showcase or see all the overdue cases, whatever we have in our system. So it can, list down all the cases which is, having overdue date in our system. So that level of query it can resolve. This is one example I have showcased. So in AI actions, what we can do with the help of that nature. So nature language, manual and rule driven, we can utilize any action. User input based on the click and menu based, conversation based, we can utilize this particular one. Logic, static workflow, we can utilize here. Role based, hands executions or brain guidance also we can do with the help of this Copilot. So command bar is fixed if we want to perform some logic, but Copilot based AI assistant and in tune our logic here. Suppose based on user input, suppose if we can give some user input to take some action, but that is in under menu based or limited option only. But we can give some conversation based solution in the Copilot base. And even the logic, we have static logic in the command bars, but in Copilot base we can, it is very intelligence based output. Role based, role based we can control, but in the Copilot base it is a brain based related guidance. Business impacted ROI 60%, reduce the manual typing with the help of this particular one. This is different level of, here sample I have showcased here, approve, reject, and there are, you already, we already covered all those points here. But I hope you understand on higher level related to this part, or do you have anything? Try to use this uh, time. I'm requesting everyone, if you are getting very important call during this time, then only you have to go today. Otherwise try to you know uh, exclude all those activity during this particular session. Do we need to create Copilot agent for this Copilot feature? Copilot feature is completely different. Copilot agent is for different purpose, but even I will showcase, like there are some prompt based fields we can create, but it is in preview state. Some of the features we are getting here. We are over the time today, but my request here is try to focus try to reduce your other activity, other work during this particular time. If you are thinking, hey, this session is recorded, I can listen this particular session again. This session, this time never come, because there are so many recorded sessions available, even different uh, source even, but we never get that time so that we can utilize that. Hope it's clear for everyone. So let's close this call today. Thank you, everyone. Hope you are getting some good information. Thank you, everyone, for today. I'm closing the call.